Hello underachievers! So quickly before we get into the video, I just want to let you guys know that I released a new song called Worms in My Brain on the 13th, and you can go stream that now. The link is in the description, and you can also go watch the new music video. It's very fun, it's very cool, and I'm sure you'll have a good time watching it, so yeah. Do that now. So, onto the video. I have been known to anger some TERFs. TERFs do not like trans people, and TERFs especially do not like trans people with audiences who, you know, speak about being trans because they either A, think we've somehow become trans to get attention and popularity online, or B, think we're dangerous for talking about our experiences or giving out advice online because, you know, we're trying to convert and corrupt the beautiful, normal, healthy, lost lesbians. We're trying to turn them into delusional trans people, apparently. So, every now and then I'll get a few TERF comments, which is to be expected because some of my content is put on like TERF forums, is put on places like Mumsnet, or you know, sometimes TERF YouTubers will make videos about me, which of course drives more TERFs my way. That's to be expected. I expect that to happen. You know, it happened when I made videos about Ariel Scarcella, which like obviously if you make a video about a TERF and you say you don't like the TERF, then TERFs are going to be upset with you. And you know, the same thing happened when Posey Parker, notorious TERF, made a 30-minute video calling me delusional and disgusting. You know, she said I was autistic. She said that it was my parents' fault that I was so up because they sent me to boarding school. She also, you know, showed pictures of my top surgery results and said it was revolting, which is just like a really cool thing to do when you're in your 40s. You know, just the classic talking points that we get from TERFs because they're protecting young females and young males from the transgender. They just need to look out for kids by calling trans people's bodies disgusting. So anyways, why am I making this video? Well, there was a video uploaded about me, made by a TERF, and this TERF was a detransitioner. They were assigned male at birth, transitioned into a woman, and then detransitioned, and then started making, you know, content, reacting to trans stuff. He said some very interesting things about me in that video, which did make me laugh, but what usually makes me laugh the most in those kind of videos is the comments, and I thought today we could, you know, go through a few of those comments, go through some other TERFy comments I get, and rate them on a tier list. Because, you know, these kind of comments, they don't hurt my feelings. I find them funny, but I also think it'll be interesting for people outside of the trans community to kind of see what we deal with, whether it's on a day-to-day basis, or, you know, just every now and then. The media, I guess, specifically in the UK, is very forgiving to TERF ideology, you know. We love it when the BBC platforms TERFs in the name of impartiality. Again, in the UK, the LGB Alliance, which is a transphobic organisation, has actually gained charity status. I'm not going to go into detail about the LGB Alliance, but I linked some videos by Jamie below where he kind of explains what's going on about them. But long story short, they're essentially a fear-mongering hate group which continue to and use trans people as scapegoats. So that's all about the LGBT Alliance. I really could speak about this stuff for days, but let's just have a bit of fun. Let's just have a bit of fun. So, as you can see on screen, we have a tier list. I made it myself, and at the top we have Superb for the best TERF comments. You know, the really beefy ones, the chewy ones, the ones that hit you in the gut. Beneath that we have pretty good, and then we've got average, we got try harder, and we got are you not embarrassed, which, you know, I feel like anybody that left any of these comments should be in the are you not embarrassed part, but there are some that are better than the others, so we'll leave that for the especially bad ones. So, let's get into it. What's the first one? We've got, he is enjoying his time looking like teenage boy, a girly boy with small delicate hands, rounded shoulders, acting hyper, burping. Now, for context, in the video that this TERF was reacting to, that this comment was left below, I burped, because I just burp, you know, people burp. A lot of people had a problem with me burping because they felt like I burped to be more masculine, or to assert my masculinity, or like manliness, because they feel like I think that men have to be disgusting in order to be men. To be honest, I just wouldn't really deep it. I just needed to burp, and it came out, and I have stomach issues, and I'm a gassy boy. So, to clear that up, so let's go through this. He is enjoying his time looking like a teenage boy. You know, there are worse things that could be happening. I could look worse. Teenage boy, yeah, I mean, looking like a 16-year-old kind of got boring after my 17th birthday. So I'm not sure if I'm enjoying looking like a teenage boy. Next, we've got a girly body with small, delicate hands. Girly body. I wouldn't say my body's girly. It's not the manliest out there, but, you know, I'm quite small. I'm going to the gym. Small, delicate hands. I mean, my hands aren't actually that small. Delicate. They're beautiful and delicate, I guess. Sure. I'm not swearing. Maybe this exclamation mark on my middle finger makes it less delicate, but no. Acting hyper, yeah, valid. I have ADHD. Burping, yeah, I burp. So true. So where do we rate this one? I'd say I'm gonna put it in try harder because, you know, he didn't misgender me once, and all these things, I don't know, they didn't hit, so I'm gonna put him in try harder. Next we have You're a Girl, which is This is my favorite kind of comment to receive, because you've clearly just clicked on this video, realized I'm trans, and be like, I just gotta let him know. I just gotta let him know he's a girl. Very interesting. Very interesting. Of course, I get these comments quite a lot. It really does help with engagement. I probably could go through my comment section and read out the amount of times somebody has commented this. It must boost my engagement a bit. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what kind of point he was trying to prove, so I'm gonna have to put him in. Do I put him in Are You Not Embarrassed or Try Harder? It is a classic. It is a classic. I'm gonna put him in Try Harder. It's not too bad. Next, we've got It Feels Like She's Mocking Men More Than Portraying a Man. This one confused me, because I think I'm maybe just a bit weird, and I'm not like other guys, I'm edgy. I think I'm maybe just a bit weird, and maybe that comes across as like putting on an act, which I think a lot of the comments on this video were trying to say. Like, I was trying to overcompensate for something. A lot of people were trying to say that I was like insecure in my transition, and that's why I was taking an Am I a Transgender test. You know, these people, they look very deeply into things that don't need to be looked deeply into, but it feels like she's mocking men more than portraying a man. Is that to do with the burping and the being shirtless? Maybe. I'm gonna put that in average. You know, it doesn't strike me, it doesn't hit me, but it's interesting, at least. It's a new one, I've not heard that much. So next we've got Noah looks the same pre-T and on-T. I see no face change, and that's likely why he uses his hair to cover his face. It's not like that he already looked like a dude, it's that he looked like a girl and still looks like a girl, albeit somewhat androgynous. I have always questioned why he felt the need to transition, because for one, he certainly does not pass. Anyway, thank you for making this video on him. This is a lot to unpack. So, Noah looks the same pre-T on T. I'm just gonna put a picture of me pre-T and a picture of me now on screen. I feel like I don't need to say much else on that. Feel like I do look different. I see no face change, and that's likely why he uses his hair to cover his face. To be honest, I just like having messy hair. I never intend for my hair to cover my face. It just grows so quick. I had this cut maybe like a week and a half ago, and it kind of just grows out, and it really frustrates me. So it's never intentional. It's not that he already looked like a dude, it's that he looked like a girl and still looks like a girl. I mean, fine if you want to say that, albeit somewhat androgynous. I guess I'm androgynous. People say I look androgynous, which I'm not opposed to or upset by. I guess I just don't really see it. People always default to he, so maybe I look like an androgynous guy. I wouldn't say like completely androgynous. I've always questioned why he felt the need to transition. Dysphoria. Lifetime's worth of dysphoria, you know, waking up at 5 years old, trying to on the toilet like a boy, putting Play-Doh in my pants to make it look like I had a bulge, like the whole thing. Several reasons, all relating back to the fact that I just am trans. For one, he certainly does not pass. I mean, again, that's an opinion on the internet, but I've not been misgendered for years. So maybe to you, somebody that clearly has, you know, a bit of a hang-up about trans people, considering you're watching this video and commenting on this video. Anyway, thank you for making this video on him. Valid. Oh, where does that go? I'd say that's pretty good. There was a lot of detail, you know. I'd say pretty good. Next comment. Noah honestly thinks she's a man, yet everything she does, right down to mannerisms, is female. She, like, insert another person who makes trans videos online's name. Loves looking up videos on themselves so they can own the transphobes. Honestly, she just looks like a teenage Harry Styles. No man would actually see her as one of them. This one. This, though, chef's kiss. Again, female mannerisms is not a thing. Mannerisms are not, oh my god. Your mannerisms are not down to your biology. They're based on the way you're socialized and your upbringing and the people you surround yourself with. Like, gay people aren't, like, straight out the womb like this. Are they? No. And, you know, I'm constantly surrounded by queers. These are just my mannerisms. I'm not self-conscious about them. Maybe I would have been when I was 15 and, like, overly critical of myself and other trans people, like the person that commented this. It doesn't bother me. And the best part is, honestly, she just looks like a teenage Harry Styles. Now, I don't think I look like Harry Styles, but I don't understand this as part of a negative comment, because looking like a teenage Harry Styles, not a bad look, to be honest, is it? Like, everyone was obsessed with teenage Harry Styles. I'll take that. No man would actually see her as one of them. Again, like, this is where these comments confuse me. Because these people, like, project entirely their opinions of a trans person onto everybody else in the world. Like, there have been several times where I've met people in person that, you know, have not seen me on the internet, and I have to tell them I'm trans. because they don't think about it for a second, because most people aren't out looking for trans people like you weirdos. But yeah, no man would actually see her as one of them. That's an untruth. And this comment, I think we can all agree this comment has to go in superb. Next comment we have is Johnny Lawson, who says, Noahfinnce self-identifies as talented. Her music, lyrics, and singing is absolute garbage. She can't possibly have fans over 12. I've heard a lot of these comments recently because these kind of people will go on my music videos and comment this. It's creative. But not creative enough, you know, you could do better. Her music, lyrics, and singing is absolute garbage. So true, streamworms. And she can't possibly have fans over 12. This one, again, let's look at my YouTube analytics. So, in terms of age, 16.7% of you are 13 to 17 years old, and 50.1% of you are 18 to 24 years old. So not even 17% of you are under the age of 18. So that's not true, but that's just YouTube. Let's check Instagram. 18 to 24 years old, 60.7% of you are over the age of 18. 13 to 17-year-olds, only 22.5% of you. So there are more younger people on Instagram, but you know, still a lot more older. So this comment, I'd say is pretty good. You know, the misgendering, pretty nice. Next, Noah is one of those who is obsessed with getting gay men to sleep with her and calling them transphobic if they don't. No sympathy for her on my end. See, this comment bugs me because this is something I've never said. It's absolutely not something I agree with. I don't want to sleep with somebody who doesn't want to sleep with me, and I don't want to sleep with somebody who is uncomfortable with sleeping with trans people. Obviously, because I want to enjoy having sex. I feel like that's normal. Even though I am trans, I'm abnormal in that way, but like, no. Anytime this conversation is brought up, I repeatedly have said that I don't think it's transphobic to not sleep with a trans person, because you can't control your preferences, and you can't control that kind of thing if you're uncomfortable with it. So yeah, again, these people love to project their own ideas of people they've never met online onto those people, which I'm used to, of course, because I open up a bit online and people assume that they know me. They don't, but specifically this person. This comment has to go in, are you not embarrassed? Because this is an embarrassing thing to comment without knowing anything about me. Next we've got, this is clearly a tomboy and there's nothing trans about that. These people, so these comments, these people, I wish they could like see my entire life through a lens. I wish they had like binoculars and were like sitting in like a bush and could just watch my entire life, because even if you don't want to believe I'm trans, I could literally go to any gender specialist and they would immediately diagnose me with gender dysphoria, because my entire life experience, every single year of my life, every aspect or every stage of my life, there have been very clear signs of dysphoria and discomfort and wants to be a guy rather than be a girl. There's literally a video of me when I was 5 years old when my brother was just like, oh yeah, she wants to be a boy. Like, I was telling my brother that before the age of 5 years old. So this is what does bug me, when people who do think that some people are trans, but they don't think I am trans, even though they don't know me. Because like, I don't want to be trans, but if you're trying to tell me that some people are trans and I'm not, don't bother. So this one, again, I think this should go in, are you not embarrassed? Next we have, we can absolutely tell she is trans. She is tiny. Her eyes are large in relation to her skull. Her bone structure is feminine. Her hand size is small. And the voice sounds like a boy going through puberty. So here's a really fun one. I love the descriptive ones. And people love to do this to trans people online, of course, because they think, you know, that they can spot trans people a mile off. But let's get into it. She is tiny. Valid. I'm 5'5". I'm actually taller than my dad, and he was born a guy. He's a real guy, by the way. He has a penis, and I'm taller than him. Her eyes are large in relation to her skull. Yeah, I got big, beautiful eyes and a tiny little head, which I don't enjoy having a tiny head. But what is funny is if you look at the rest of my family, we all have tiny heads. We have tiny little heads and weird flat backs to our heads. Maybe we're a bit inbred. We're not. I don't know why I said that. But her bone structure is feminine. I mean, I don't agree or disagree. I think maybe I am like androgynous, but I don't think people would look at me and think I was a girl, because they don't. Because I live my life and experience life being me, and people don't call me a girl or misgender me. But anyway, her hand size is small. We've gone through that. I guess they're smaller than a lot of other people's hands, but they're not like tiny. There's a lot of people's hands that have bigger than. And the voice sounds like a boy going through puberty. Again, I don't disagree with that. Although, something that I did realize recently is that when I speak in my YouTube videos, I speak so much higher and I speak in a completely different way than when I do in real life, like in person, which is normal. But it's just something interesting, because I don't speak like this in real life. I think this one has to go in pretty good. I can't lie, you know, there's some description, you know, there's something to it. Next we have, these girls are so sad. Can't wait for when they are past 30, most will want a family, and they realise what they did to themselves. So, alright Bill, let's get to it. These girls are so sad. I'm sorry I upset you. Can't wait for when they are past 30, most will want a family. I mean, I look forward to being past 30, you know. I will have a family, you know, I've got my eggs frozen, I've got plans for that, you know. I can adopt. There are several ways that trans people can have kids, but, you know, I've had my eggs frozen, so I could have biological kids. Most will want a family, and they realise what they did to themselves. This kind of comment, like, what is interesting when people say this about trans people is they have, like, no thought or no idea of how these comments affect trans people. And obviously some people will be affected by it and upset by it. But me personally, when I see comments like this, I kind of just laugh because I'm like, you know absolutely nothing about my life. You know nothing about my family. You know nothing about, like, anything to do with me. Ask anybody that knew me before I started testosterone, before I came out, before I had top surgery. Ask how I was before and how I am afterwards. I am infinitely happier. I could never regret any of those things that I did for my transition because they honestly improved my quality of life so much that even if I had to go through top surgery like 10 times, I had to experience its pain 10 times, I had to think about how difficult it was to have my hormones go up and down and have all those mood swings, I would do it 10 times over because it's not something that I could ever see myself regretting, ever. It allowed me to be myself, which is a vibe. I think that's a vibe. So this comment, I think, try harder. It's not quite, are you not embarrassed, but it's pretty close. Next comment, I don't know of this person, but to me they look like a girl. Soft shoulders and face, we've got a running theme. I'm guessing they have had their breasts removed. Absolutely. I think it's sad they will never attain what they are seeking. So this is again just an assumption that trans people will never be happy. I don't know why these people feel like they understand trans people, or they know what we're like, or they know how we're feeling, but they absolutely are completely off the mark with this. I will never attain what I'm seeking. What I'm seeking is to not wake up every day, look in the mirror, and start crying because I didn't have a deep voice, or because I felt uncomfortable with my body. Like, I have achieved that. I can wake up in the morning, look at myself naked, look at my titties, and be super happy with them. And, you know, I can do that, and I happily do that. I can leave the house now, I can talk on the phone, I can have, like, actual relationships with people that don't involve me constantly, like, hiding myself away. Like, I have attained what I'm seeking, and gone further. So this comment, I try harder, to be honest. So this next one says, that dude's nose is telling me he loves Coca-Cola in the note. The drug. Bleep out the word, Jam. Bleep out the drug word. I wish I could fit a 3.5 gram rock in my nose. They're talking about my nostrils. I do have big nostrils. And I think this has to go in superb. This comment did make me happy. Next. Oh, so Neil here. He's done a pretty big comment, so let's get into it. I'm just gonna have to go through this one as I read it. So, Noah, you look like a girly Sid Vicious. Is that an insult? Not a fan of the things Sid Vicious did. I think he looks quite cool. We get it, you're so edgy and pop punk. True. Vibes. You're also a 10 a penny narcissist with an inflated ego and sense of self-worth. This, again, the projection, the assumptions. I'm a lot more confident in myself now than I used to be, obviously, for like several reasons. I feel like I don't have a great sense of self-worth all the time. You know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But, you know, I care a lot more about how other people around me are feeling. I care more about them than I care about myself. So that's debatable. Members of the 1% gang are prolific on social media. It's where you go to peacock and feed off each other. This is in reference to me asking why people would want to get attention and fit in by joining the members of a 1% minority. To peacock and feed off each other, he thinks. Good luck with the LARPing and the likes. Thank you. It's doing well so far. Maybe one day when you're having breast implants, that got me. That I read this and I was like, bleh, bleh. Okay, sure. I never wanted titties. I remember having the titty talk with my mum when I was younger. She was like, you're gonna start growing boobs and you're gonna have to wear bras. And I was like, no, I'm not. I just won't do that. I just won't do that. Very, very unlikely that I'll ever get breast implants, but you know, thank you for the concern. Maybe one day when you're having breast implants, you'll realise that if you can't be content with yourself without seeking attention from others, then you need to work on yourself in ways that don't involve surgery and hormones. I go to therapy every week. I pay a lot of money in therapy, and I don't seek validation in order to be content with myself or to be happy with myself, you know what I mean? Like, I don't rely on validation from others for me to feel like I am of value. But it is nice. The validation is nice. What I'm saying is that I am a person when I'm not on social media, and I'm a person when, you know, I'm not posting on social media, and I don't need those things in order to feel happy. Or you'll just have to keep doing this. Christ, a 50-something Noah banging on about that time they were on Reddit. What a prospect. I'm excited for when I'm 50 and I prove these people wrong. But this comment has to go in superb. I don't think anyone can argue with that. So next we've got, I followed Noah in the past and quite liked her music. I wondered just how much the need to be famous in the musical field in that genre has influenced her transition. This comment, I showed Corey this and he was like, what? I wonder just how much the need to be famous in the musical field and the genre has influenced her transition. It's not. I just transitioned for myself so that I could be happy and comfortable, regardless of whether people like you are upset by that. This comment is confusing to me. So this comment's got to go in, are you not embarrassed? It really does. It really does. So next we've got, she tries so hard to be a stereotypical lad. She's truly convinced herself she is a cis scum. This is comical. I don't really think so, to be honest. You know, I do a lot of things that a stereotypical lad might feel embarrassed about doing. I have no desire to be a stereotypical lad. I would just enjoy being the comfortable and happy version of myself, which I am now that I've actually, you know, gone through medical transition. I've truly convinced myself that I am cis scum. Again, where do these people come from? Where do they get these ideas in their head? I am not, you know, there's so many things I can say right now. But, you know, I don't think I'm cis scum, whatever that means. I don't really have a desire to be anybody else at this point in my life. I know the Underachiever lyrics disagree with that. But, you know, I'm happy being myself. And myself is trans, so not gonna be mad about it. This comment belongs in Try Harder. Not that close to Are You Not Embarrassed, but you know, it's somewhere. So the next one says, I'll always misgender a trans person as they misgender me as cis every day. Where's the respect? Before I even talk about this is going straight and superb. This provides such entertainment, comedy at the same time. So you'll always misgender a trans person. That is such a statement to make. They misgender me as cis every day. Now again, you know, cis is not a gender. So this person clearly does not have much of an understanding of what the hell they're talking about, but we knew that. We knew that anyway. Cis is not a slur, it's not a misgendering, it's just a word to describe somebody who was born a specific gender and still identifies with that specific gender. It's not just used in reference to trans people and cis people in that way, it's literally just a word from Latin. It's not hard to understand, it's definitely not a slur, it's not misgendering, get over yourself, Jesus Christ. Obviously superb. Next we've got poor Noah, she's actually really cute, but the Justin Bieber look isn't going to be cute when she's 35 to 40 plus. I feel so sad that she couldn't accept herself in a natural state. This is going superb. I appreciate the compliments. You know, I'm really cute. The Justin Bieber look isn't going to be cute when I'm 35 to 40. I feel like I'm not going to look like this when I'm 35 to 40, but maybe hopefully I'll look a bit older. The plan is not to look exactly the same as I do now. I feel so sad that she couldn't accept herself in a natural state. This again. Like, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this about the whole, like, natural stuff? Like, yeah, I got my tits chopped off. I'm also on Ritalin. I also have a vitamin D deficiency. I'm also lactose intolerant. I take lactase every day. I take Ritalin every day. I also pierce my nose and my lip and my ears. I also have tattoos. And I'm gonna get more. People all over the world modify their body. In literally every culture, body modification is a thing. It's really strange to me that some people have an issue with trans people modifying their body in order to become more comfortable with themselves. Because they're not hurting anybody. Like, they're just not. They're just changing their body, and if they regret it in the future, I mean, I guess that's on them, but the majority of trans people that get surgery do not regret it. There has not been a moment since I got top surgery that I regretted getting top surgery. I don't know anybody who got top surgery that has regretted it at all. Like, it's so frustrating to me that people give that much of a shit about what I do with my body, because my titties, I'm in love with my titties. I'm in love with the fact that I don't have boobs. I am so obsessed with that. And, you know, I'm not a fan of mood swings or sweating a lot or, you know, hot flushes, but I love that I can just put testosterone on my body every day, and I can be reassured that I'm not gonna, you know, revert back to the feminine fat pattern that I used to have before I started testosterone. I have accepted myself, and I've accepted that I'm trans, just because I haven't accepted the fact that because you think I shouldn't have cut my tits off, that I shouldn't do that. I think that's sad. I think that's pathetic. And this comment, where's it gotta go? You know, it's going in superb. Next, we've got, she has a very female skull. Again, you know, they really love to talk about our skulls. They love to talk about trans people's bones. If you're trans and you haven't heard this before, I'd be very surprised. Sometimes transphobes or TERFs will be like, you may think people think you're a man now, but when you die and they dig up your body in 500 years, they'll look at your skeleton and think you're a female. How do you feel about that? I don't care, bro. I don't care about my bones. I don't care what happens when I die either. My skull is the way my skull is. I'm not gonna spend time being upset about it, and I don't understand why people are so obsessed with, like, pointing out this like, Jesus Christ. All the testosterone in the world won't change that. Yeah, I didn't think testosterone would make my head bigger. I may have hoped it did, but that doesn't mean that I think it will. Trans men are desperate for facial hair as they don't have male chins or jaws. I know a lot of trans men who don't want facial hair. I know a lot of them get off that they grow it and they have to shave it. I have regular T levels, but I'm not sensitive to DHT, so don't grow much facial hair. The assumption facial hair, etc. makes one male is hilarious. Now again, these people love to argue against points that nobody has made. I don't think I've ever seen any trans person say that having a beard makes you man. I think it's the other side that does that. But yeah, I'm a guy without facial hair. I'd be a guy if I had facial hair. I'd be a guy if I still had tits, and I hope that really angers you, but you know, where does this one go? I think this one deserves to go and try harder. I don't even know if I appreciate the effort. Next, we've got, I can't stand when she says hello underachievers. That's going straight and superb. Well, I mean, they call me she, so, you know, transphobic, but whatever. Not the worst. Someone has said, and that's not even one of her top 5 most obnoxious / annoying traits. I'd love to have a list of my top 5 / 6 annoying traits, so I could continue doing them. But yeah, that goes to superb. Next, we've got the way she handles her phone, especially when she's reading the comments, is very feminine. Guys, does this make me look like a lady? The way I hold this phone. Does it upset you? Is it making you feel, like, uncomfortable? Is it weird that I'm a guy and I'm holding my phone like, this is ridiculous? The way I handle my phone is very feminine. Do you see why it's infuriating that people think we're the crazy ones? Like, this is weird. This is going straight and superb, though. I gotta give it to you, Jodie Humphrey. You tried real hard. So I'm gonna end this collection with a few comments from the same person. I've recently realized this person's comments in my YouTube videos, and I clicked on her account, and I found some interesting ones. So she commented, "What in the Caitlyn Jenner is this atrocity? XXX." So, there's a lot to unpack here, Lucy. So, what in the Caitlyn Jenner? Caitlyn Jenner, a trans woman, not a popular trans woman. Trans people don't really like her because she's a bit of a homophobe, and cis people don't like her because she's trans, and she also sucks as a person. What is this atrocity? XXX. I love the X's because it's such a clear passive-aggressive sentence. Beautiful, to be honest. I'd say this is superb. Next, Lucy says, "What a gorgeous young lady you are. XXXX. Love from Sweden. X." I'm a gorgeous young lady. I do get quite a few comments like this where people purposely compliment me and compliment, like, the feminine parts of me, or compliment the fact that I look like a girl. Because it's, like, not a hate comment unless you look into it, which I think that takes a lot of effort. So again, superb. Thank you, Lucy, again, for your continued support. Next we have, "I would be so proud if my daughter turned out like you. What an inspiration. Gorgeous young lady, XXXX. This one is a bit confusing, because I get the vibe that she wouldn't be proud if her daughter turned out like me. This one confuses me. I'd say this has to go in, "Are you not embarrassed?" I know that doesn't make sense, but it does in my head, so I'm just going to do it anyway. And then the last one, she's responding to somebody saying, "I'm not a lesbian, hun. I like real men. XXX. I hope she does a makeup routine. Her eyes are so pretty and dainty, though." So here's my pretty and dainty eyes saying that, you know, that was a superb comment, and I appreciate it. So that's all we have for this video. If you'd like me to make another video like this or similar videos, let me know. Otherwise, comment some other videos you want me to make. I'm playing with my hair so much because it looks bad. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think about TERFs in the comments. Have a good day, I don't. See you later, losers. Goodbye.